next paddler to go is the highest scorer from prelims, Sage Donnelly. And we've just had Otti's score come through at 230 points, putting her currently in 3rd place. So she knows she's done enough to make the finals so far. Dropping in now is Sage Donnelly from the United States.
She is your current junior world champion, having one of the highest scores at the entire Garburator event. And you can see why right here. She does slalom, she does extreme races, and she also does freestyle very well usually. Launching into a split combo. That's a basic trick done both ways, linked together. And if she gets it, the points go much higher. There's a beautiful right McNasty launching right into a Space Godzilla. Wow, she is getting that boat in the air. We'll see if she's bringing them all down straight enough to score, but this is a very high scoring ride she's attempting right here for you.
She has 10 seconds left and she's lining up for yet another big move, looking for another McNasty there. Still in the feature, looking perhaps for one last move. The buzzer has gone, but she's going to do one for the crowd anyway. That was a fantastic ride from Sage.
Incredible ride for Miss Sage Donnelly from Reno, Nevada. She's going to be happy with that one. We'll see what the judges say, but I know what that smile says, and that says, man, that was fun. And these scores are coming in. If we haven't called them out yet, we have in first place currently Katie Fankenhauser from Lyons, Colorado with a 390. Olivia McGinnis coming in with a 240. And Adi from GBR with a 230, just 10 points separating second and third so far. Next up is Ona from Spain with a 123 and Kira with a 103. But any of these ladies in this top round could do better next time and change up that scorecard right now.
Yeah, that's right, Clay. We've got to see 2 rides, and their best ride counts. So this final ride could be the one that actually goes on the score sheet for them. I think that's a 620 for Sage Donnelly, which is an incredible ride. That would have done well in either of the senior classes we've seen already today.
One of the advantages about Sage competing so much and in the junior class is that she can really just work on the hardest tricks on the scorecard every single ride, because she's likely to make the cuts. One of the benefits about getting really good in the cadet class is that by the time you hit the juniors, you get to compete more often than anyone else, and that is a real advantage when you're trying to get the highest scores you possibly can. How about you, Lori? Were you going for the very hardest tricks you've ever thrown?
Earlier?
Yes.
No, I did do a Luna, though, which I was pretty stoked about. It wasn't in time, but I still did it.
Congratulations on a Lunar. Sometimes the funnest thing you can do is the hardest trick you've ever done, but if you miss it, you get a 0. So a lot of us has to stick to more basic rides of the tricks we know we can do.
However, this here is a semi-final, so it's kind of time for go big or go home, because those are literally the 2 options. You either throw a big ride together, get in that top 5, or you are out of there. So we're going to start with the second ride for Ona very shortly once the judges are ready. She popped the boat high into the air in her first ride. She's going to be looking to do the same thing again.
All right, and right now the third place has a 240, fourth place with a 230. And to get into that next round for sure, you've got to best a 123. 123 is the score that will take you in to finals.
So for Ona, this really is the time.
It's her score.
Because she's She is currently sitting in 5th place, which gets her to the finals, but she knows that there's 4 more paddlers to go. So that's the danger zone she's in right now. She's going to want to throw down the best ride she has.
That's right, because there are some paddlers from the last round that are in here. So we know that at least one of the paddlers from this round could take her out unless she improves her score. This is the position she wants to be in, though. These are like thoroughbred racehorses out here. They love to compete. They love when the pressure's on, because then they really get to fly.
Yeah, she's looking happy in the eddy. She's giving us a smile. So I think we're going to see some good things in her 45 seconds. She's heading towards the wave now. She's ready and raring. Let's hear it from the crowd as she drops on for her second ride. This is for the finals of the World Championships 2017. Going straight in there with a loop, straight into a split wheel. Going again for another move. This is exciting stuff here in the semifinals.
Fantastic. She's got a great ride started out. How can she finish that up? Lots of time and lots of tricks that she can do to perform for you right now. Whoa, she goes for that McNasty. Oh, not sure if she stuck it, but that was looking really good on the way up. Can she hit one more trick? Oh, another nice loop. I don't know what you think. I think that was supposed to be a Space Godzilla, but she's got the McNasty attempt again. Unlucky flush for her. Let's get her back to that hole, crowd.
5 seconds left. Oh, she is done. But she finishes with a smile on her face, and that is what we like to see.
All right, the worst she can do right now is to leave it up to chance, and that's all she's done, because right now she is in the finals, currently in the finals, hoping to perform for you later. But we will see, because there are some women who could knock her right back out of that position. And that is a hard position to be in. One of the worst things you can be doing is sitting in the sidelines hoping that your friend flushes out and doesn't score more points than you. That's the worst part of freestyle, in my opinion, is when you're having to hope that your friend doesn't do as well as they can.
Score. She's now on 171. So she should be safe, but we really don't want to call things just in case we get it wrong. Remember, what we're calling are not the official signed-off results, so things could potentially change. We've got Lottie paddling up the eddy, trying to make her way back up for her second ride, looking to get some points down on that score sheet and fight her way into that top 5 for the finals.
And if anyone can do it, Lottie can. Let's hope that she can get it up there, get those tricks, landing straight into the air, get some points on her scorecard and advance to the finals, because we want to see her paddle again too.
And that is time for Lottie. The cheers from the grandstands are pretty awesome. She's got a lot of support out there. Looks like we're going straight in there with Olivia's second ride. She's dropping onto the feature, getting herself lined up, looking to go big on this first move, and she does, but she might have just flushed from the feature there, so give her a big cheer, guys. Get her back up that eddy and into that feature where she can score some more points.
And Olivia's back in the hole, going for that big air loop she is famous for with that clean bonus. Clean meaning you don't use your paddle, and that's why she's trying to hold both blades of that paddle high in the sky to prove that she did not use it. It's not required that you hold it high in the sky, but boy, it makes it a lot more obvious.
Yeah, it's all about selling it to the judges, really. The more obvious you can make it, the more likely they are to put that move down on that score sheet and those bonuses. So Olivia already qualified with her first run score, but she was looking to improve that score in her second ride so that she was placed higher, because as we go into the final, we go reverse order in the finals, which means that if you go through in first place, so that second ride score is 120 points, so she'll keep her first ride score of 240, which does secure her place in tomorrow's top 5 final. Next up, we have Otti Robinson-Shaw from Great Britain, flying the flag on both her boat and her kit. Otti actually competed already this week, finishing 10th in the squirt boat category. She's huge McNasty there from Otti, now pretty much her trademark move. And she's already done a big loop, looking for the air again on that Space Godzilla. If anything's going to score huge, I would like to think that sort of air would get those bonus points.
I would like to go that high for sure.
Yeah, me too this afternoon.
Oh, and that McNasty might have been a huge as well. Really nice air coming out of that boat.
This is an awesome ride from Otti. She's fighting for that top spot from Sage. Wow, that's a hard statement to say.
Incredible ride she's got going here. Really nice power. A lot of people think it's just a small person in a big boat that gets those huge bonuses, but there's actually just a whole lot of gymnastic ability. You could see her plunge her heels straight to the bottom of the river, extend her upper body, and throw those hands straight up to the sky, and that's actually why she's going so high. She's doing it herself. It's not a luck situation, it's a skill one.
Yeah, that's for sure. Otti really, as you watch on the slow-mo, you'll see how much she's extending her body, willing that boat to pop up as high as it possibly can do as she comes out of her moves. So next, the second run score of 546 for Otti. She'll be pretty stoked on that, I'd say.
Wow, love this. The junior women's scores going up there like the senior women's scores. These girls are definitely showing that they deserve to be at a world championship right up there with the senior women. Pretty impressive moves for this class, I gotta admit. The bar has been raised, the juniors are stepping it up, and let's see if our next paddler can step it up once again. Miss Sage Donnelly from Reno, Nevada. Starting off with an entrance move before launching into a front loop. What else does she have for us? She has so many tricks. I'm not really sure what she's going to do in her ride. Going for that split combo. I think she at least got the first into the split. Nice and high to sell the first split to those finicky judges. The judges very demanding of every trick. And there's another one of those aerial McNasties. She is off on a roll, looking a lot like Lottie's ride. Actually, Ottie's ride, sorry.
Yeah, this is a fantastic ride from Sage again, just showing the caliber in the junior ladies here. Not only was she throwing a plus 600 point ride in her first ride, but she can do it all again, and that was a nice big back loop, and she's landed it. That is a fantastic ride there.
Wow, you can really tell the experience of Miss Sage Donnelly as she repeats that split that I talked about she might have missed. She repeated the split she missed, and then right before that buzzer, she was facing the wrong way and knew, well, there's one trick I can do from here, and it's a back loop, and I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, there was lots of really good moves there, lots of air. I think we might have a little wait whilst we wait on the judges for this one, as we tend to with the higher scoring rides.
These judges are really, really fast, actually. Some of the most experienced judges in the world. Of course, this is the World Championship. We expect nothing but the best, and thankfully we are getting it here in San Juan, Argentina.
Yeah, that's right. These judges have had to take an exam to be here, and it's only the highest grade judges that are allowed to judge at World Championships. So these really are the creme de la creme.
Was a C+ enough to be a judge here?
Oh no, you have to be an A grade judge to be here.
An A? You have to get straight A's on your judges test, or you are not allowed to judge here. Because it matters so much. These athletes have worked way too hard, put in way too much time, sweat, and money into learning these tricks and getting them down perfectly for you. We expect the judges to do no less.
So second ride score 6:10, first ride score was 6:20. That's amazing consistency, especially at that high score level. That would have been probably one of the highest scoring rides from the seniors that we saw earlier today. I'm not looking forward to when these girls are moving up into seniors. I'm going to have to up my game.
Yeah, you better get some medals before Sage gets a little older.
Okay, on the scoreboard there, then we can see the current rankings with Sage, of course, at the top there, but nipping at her heels, Ottie from the UK, and then in third place, Kate Frankenhauser also from the USA. USA doing well in the junior ladies class because we have another paddler, so that's 3 out of 5 paddlers coming out of the USA. Olivia there in fourth place, and then España, Ona, taking up that last place in the final. She's going to be stoked on that.
Yeah, we've actually had a really great thing happen in the U.S. where we've had a lot of the freestyle boaters of the 90s revolution have had kids, and they're bringing them back to the river. We had a little bit of a lull there when it was tough to get a junior women's course together to get enough people to fill the class, and then suddenly the cadet class just exploded. All these kids from the boom of the 90s are coming back strong, and then they've got other girls to paddle with, and I think that makes such a difference.
Oh, it definitely does, Clay. Having other girls to paddle with makes a huge difference because comparing yourself to boys, it just gets a bit boring after a while. And we progress at different rates, especially at that age. So sometimes the boys will suddenly be able to do tricks that you're not able to do, and it can be disheartening. But as you can see with the rivalry between Ottie and Sage, you can see that they're pushing each other on. And each of those McNasties, you can see them reaching as far as they possibly can because they want to be the one who gets all the bonuses on their moves.
And all it takes is one girl who reaches that barrier and decides, I'm going to learn a McNasty and throw it at 14 years old. Or back when, another cadet learned phonics several years ago, and as soon as she did, all the other cadets started trying them. And it can really change the game. If you think that a loop in a space is the best you're going to do, because of your size and because of your equipment, it's really hard to push through, but once someone does, that glass ceiling is broken and they all move on.
Yeah, that's right, because one of the most fun things about freestyle is learning new tricks. And so if you think that you can only do a few of the moves that's on that score sheet, once you've learned those moves, it kind of becomes demotivating. But actually, these days with the modern technology, the boats that fit all sizes of paddler, there's nothing really holding back any age of paddler these days. So we can see really young kids throwing down almost all of the moves that we're seeing, even in the men's category.
It's really interesting. A long time ago, we had that same thing in the women. There was actually a discussion before the 95 Worlds where the women wanted to be judged on a different scorecard because they just can't do those hard tricks like cartwheels. And all the women got together and decided that they wanted the judges to not score women that did cartwheels because that wasn't a trick that women's bodies should be performing. Thankfully, they lost that argument, and the rest is history, and we are seeing phonics, McNasties, and combos right here in the junior women's division.
To be fair to the people of that era, those boats were hugely different to the boats we're seeing here in 2017. Those boats were far bigger volume, far wider, and much longer. So having the power to throw them around actually made a huge difference. Whereas nowadays, the boats are designed for the specific size and weight of paddlers. Especially that's an advantage of having a carbon boat, is you can choose the cut of your boat so that it fits you precisely, which means that you should be able to do all of the moves. That it's all feasible. The only thing holding you back is yourself. Okay, next up we have the semi-finals for the junior men. Okay, in the first heat of junior men, starting very soon, we have Adja from Spain, Michal from Poland, Matt Stephenson from Great Britain, and then the Kellogg's have got two brothers in this heat. We have both Kenny and Dally from the Kellogg family fighting it out for their spots in the top 5 to make the finals tomorrow. So of course we're going to have the exact same format for the boys as we did have for the girls. So they have 2 rides, their best ride will count. So it's all to play for. Time for them to go big, try and avoid those nasty flushes where you're paddling up the eddy, wasting energy and not scoring points because you are not in the feature pulling tricks. And that's what we want to see, isn't it? We want to see them pulling all of their tricks, getting big air. We want to see some combos. We want to see nice flowing rides, and we want to see them having fun. Looks like we might be ready for the first paddler from Spain. Let's hear you, Spain. Adria from Spain dropping in from above with an entry kickflip, keeping his head well dry and going straight in for that big, clean loop, putting his paddles high into the air to try and tell the judges, I did not use that. Going in for a big McNasty, looking for the McNasty the other way, and he's still in there, going straight in for another move, popping the boat into the air, looking for the Space Godzilla. He's lining up on the top of the pile again, going for his next move. The Space Godzilla the other way, looking potentially to link it into some cartwheels. If you're able to link the moves, you actually get some extra points. He's just flushed out there, so let's hear you cheering back up this eddy onto the wave. So he has a few seconds left. Maybe he'll be able to score one more trick if he gets there quickly. And that is the buzzer. It is sod's law that if you've flushed out, chances are the buzzer will go as you approach that wave. But you just have to keep going because you are going to hate yourself if you don't give it your all at this stage of the competition.
This junior men's class looking to really heat things up because they all want to make it to that final round as well. And they know a couple more years they're going to be facing that fierce men's division that we watched just a little bit earlier.
Next up, we have Michał from Poland. Do we have any Polish in the crowd cheering him on? Woo! Of course we do. Okay, he's also choosing to drop in from above with an entry move. Again, keeping his head dry, bringing the boat around straight away to plug for his first move. Also looking for his second move with a Space Godzilla. Just getting himself set up for the Space Godzilla on the other side. Going straight into some cartwheels. Splitting it up there. Not really letting the boat sit for any amount of time, so he's just scoring points the whole time, which is really the way to maximize your points. You've got the whole 45 seconds. You've got to keep moving the boat around. That was a nice McNasty, and he's just about managed to stay in the feature, looking for the McNasty the other way. This is a really strong ride here from Michał. He's really fighting for his top 5 place to make that final tomorrow. That is time. Fantastic work there from Michał. Okay, the next paddler from the UK is Mr. Matt Stephenson. I've actually been training quite a lot with Matt this year. He's a super fun paddler on the water, and he has a really nice style. He actually has quite a unique style, I'd say. He can get some really big air, so that's what I'm hoping to see in this competition right now from Matt. He promised us on Facebook that he was going to go even bigger than he went in prelims, which is pretty exciting news, boys and girls, because he went pretty damn big in prelims. That looks like a over 600 point score there from Michał. And here we go with Matt dropping on from below, looking for his first move, going for that big air on his loop. Straight in with a Luna, wasting no time at all, looking for the McNasty. getting that trademark pop into the air.
Incredible. I'm guessing Nottingham. Am I right?
No, he's actually from the south of England, but he does spend a fair amount of time in Nottingham.
Nottingham seems to be training some of the best paddlers in the world. A lot of these moves that I consider so hard I don't even try, the Nottingham crew, they're basic moves to them.
Yeah, that's right. So the Nottingham White Watercourse, we're really fortunate because it not only has the famous inlet gate, which is like a really uniform feature with probably about the same amount of stickiness as we've got here in San Juan, which allows for all of the big tricks. But we also have a number of other features further down the course. Matt just going for the crowd now, I think.
But one of the challenges when you're really in the bottom bracket, knowing you've got to move way up, you go for the hardest tricks you've ever thrown, but it's really up to those guys in the green shirts in that little box at the top of the Yeti to tell you whether you scored them or not. And even though you're going for a 270-point combo, you may end up with one big fat goose egg, which is always the stressful part. These athletes get to the bottom of their ride, they're stoked, they're happy, and then they're just waiting to see if the judges are too.
Yeah, that's right, Clay. We can make the boat move around a lot, and sometimes if we don't meet the criteria, it just doesn't score very much. But it looks like Matt has scored pretty well in that first ride with over 500 points. Okay, I'm guessing by that siren we have an American paddler coming down. That's one of the Kellogg's. I think this is it Kelly Kellogg?
Kenny Kellogg. Kenny Kellogg. This was one of the cute little kids with a helmet bobbing around on his head just a few years back, and then he showed back up at team trials this year and just ripped the hole like nothing we've ever seen. Amazing progression from these kids. They've got older brothers all over the map of ages to help them along, and man, you can tell how well it works. Very hard to have an excuse that, oh, I'm only 13 or 14, I can't do that trick when your brothers did it at that age too. Or, worse yet, when it was your sister.
Clay, why exactly is that worse?
Because you know that there's a good chance that your size is not the issue, that it's more an ideal of balance and skill than it is brute strength. So these guys were a little small for their age, and yet you can see they are throwing the highest scoring tricks on that scorecard and getting massive air despite their smaller size.
That's right, that was a fantastic ride there. Then we might have a little pause whilst the judges ponder those scores, because there was a lot of big moves thrown, and all in a very short time frame, and a lot of links as well. So the judges have to be really careful to make sure that they score everything correctly. We've got all the bonuses on there, so that we make sure we get the paddlers, the 5 paddlers who score the most high in this part of the competition, that we'll see again tomorrow, throwing down their biggest tricks, going as hard as possible to fight it out for that all-important top spot tomorrow, which gets them the gold medal.
One of the coolest things about 2 Kellogg's going back-to-back here in the semifinal round of the World Championship is knowing that there's like 5 more stuck in the cadet class that want to be here and probably will in the future.
So you've mentioned this cadet class a couple of times. Could you just explain to us, what is a cadet?
Cadet is anyone who's too young to be a junior. Maybe there's an age limit for that too, 12 to 15. Up to 14 and a half or 15 is what we're hearing as the cadet class.
Okay, so that first ride from Kenny was 850 points, which I think puts him into the current lead as his brother drops in trying to beat his score.
I believe this is his younger brother, Dally, right here. And Dally has been really throwing down. Super cool to see they're in the same model boat, but they're doing very different tricks, and they've got different routines, actually. Each of these kids has a very high scoring, ambitious routine planned for you. Oh, nice little Air McNasty to the right there. But they do have their own routines and their own best tricks. So they are definitely not twins when they get out there on the water, because they're doing different hard moves every time. Another McNasty there, trying a lunar orbit to the left. That was looking pretty good to me. We'll see what the judges think before launching into a tricky woo right into a back loop attempt. Wow, ambitious ride for Dally Kellogg.
Yeah, that was impressive stuff. I absolutely am not going to call which of the brothers is going to have scored most in those first rides because they both look amazing.
Wow, I think I've seen them in practice be a little cleaner on all those tricks, but right now they don't have to be clean on every trick because even a ride which only scores half those tricks is going to score pretty well. These guys both looking to score over 1,000 points in the junior class in one ride.
Yeah, that's right, because whatever they score in this heat, there's still 5 top junior paddlers to come, and there's only 5 spots for the finals tomorrow. So they just have to lay down everything they have right now because they do not know what the boys behind them are going to do. And we saw some huge rides in the prelims.
The strategy of this round is a little bit different. When you've got 3 rides and only 1 counts, you're really able to just lay it out there and think about, you know, I get a throwaway ride, it's not a big deal. But the rides with both counts, you've got to be really conservative and make sure to have 2 good rides. In this one, you only get 2, but then the best one counts. So a lot of times you'll see a more conservative ride off the start and then a more ambitious ride off the back. But it looks like both these guys went for ambitious twice, and we'll see how it shakes down.
So it looks like Dally scored 480 for that first ride, so his brother currently taking the lead. And there we have on the big screen now, we have the current rankings with Kenny Kellogg at the top there with that 850 points. Mikhail second with I think is 650, although I'm struggling to see the board a little bit there. But everything could still change because there's only 1 ride that counts to take them through. This next ride, if it's higher scoring for any of the paddlers, will be the one that is counted. So that means that each of them has an opportunity to increase their score, so nobody is safe.
What do you think, Larry? You're an expert competitor. What do you think the score to beat is? What do you think it's going to take to get in the top 5?
Well, that's a tough one. I would say that we're certainly going to see some scores over 1,000 points, I would expect, from some of these paddlers, especially in the next 5 paddlers to come. But I think probably between 800 and 1,000 points is my prediction for the cutoff.
I think that's a great guess. A lot of times I'll guess on the very highest score in the first round will be just under the cut. It's a good guess, but who knows? Sometimes it just explodes after that. You just never know. It's all about how everyone feels in the eddy.
Especially in this junior category, I feel like the boys really, some of them get so fired up by the pressure of this situation that they can really turn on the gas when it's needed. In the prelims, some of these boys would have just been cruising. They knew they were going to make the top 10. But now things are really hotting up. There's only 5 slots for tomorrow, and if you are not in that final, well, you have no shot of winning, have you?
Got to get to that final. You always say the prelims is the hardest round because it's just so nerve-wracking to try to get a very base-level score and make that first cut. You're in the eddy with the people you don't know quite as well from other competitions. There might be a big gap in the language, and then suddenly you get to these semifinal rounds, and suddenly you got a lot more friends, you got a lot more fun tricks, you have a lot more to talk about, and everybody often steps it up, and the scores start to go higher.
Yeah, that's for sure. And prelims as well, remember, we saw 2 rides both count in prelims, which means you kind of have no margin for error. If you have 1 bad ride, that's still going to count towards your total score. So here, all of the paddlers are going to be able to drop a ride, but you only get 2, so that isn't a big opportunity. If your first ride doesn't score as well as you hope, it's all on that last ride. So just, you've got to go all out. Try and score as many points as possible to get you into that top 5.
And you guys enjoying the big screen TV is showing you what these moves are. Doing a good job of letting you guys know these things we're calling out, like Loop and McNasty and Space Godzilla. They may be funny names, but they're showcasing what the trick is. Space Godzilla is simply a loop with a cork, a loop with a quarter twist to it. You can see the whole deck of the boat or the whole hull of the boat. I'm not sure why we're stuck with that Space Godzilla name, but You'll have to ask Javid Grubbs if he ever comes out kayaking with us. Javid Grubbs naming the Space Godzilla back in the 90s, and we are stuck with it forever, it seems.
I can't wait to invent a move so I can put up with a ridiculous name that you all have to keep forever.
The Digi Kitty.
It's definitely going to involve a kitty.
The Lauriola.
Clay, have you ever named a trick?
I named the loop.
You named the loop?
I named the loop because it felt when you do a back loop.
I feel like that was a wasted opportunity for a hilarious name.
I think so too, but it reminded me of when you're on a roller coaster and they go into a loop, and that was when I was trying to describe it to get it on the scorecard. Everyone kept saying you're doing a cartwheel but not turning. And I was like, no, I'm trying to actually do more like a back loop where the bow actually lands before all your weight hits it and it kicks back under you forwards. It's more like a back loop on a roller coaster than it is a cartwheel without a twist.
And what boat were you doing that trick in?
The first loop I did, I think, was in a Mirage, accidentally. But they got a photo, and then I worked on it in a Dancer until I got it. And then when the free fall came out in a big fluffy hole like Rock Island, Tennessee, when you try a 360 and you fail, you get a big fat back loop.
That sounds really fun. Okay, now we are ready for our next paddler. So we're back to the top of the order. This is second ride for Adria from Spain. I can hear lots of noise from the grandstand. The support is here for you, Adria, as you drop in for this second ride in the semi-finals.
Wow, that was tall. Possible, huge, and clean. That's what we like to see. Getting those bonus box checks on that scorecard. Launching into a beautiful McNasty ride. Looked like some air on that. That is up to the judges. Nice poppy Space Godzilla. This guy looks like he's on a trampoline rather than in the water. He's making the San Juan hole just one big wet trampoline. And that looks like a very fun ride and likely high scoring as well.
Yeah, once again, a paddler that's really demonstrating full range in his loop to get that air. He's really extending his body, wheeling his boat out and into the air.
Man, those lunar orbits are coming down nice and straight for me at least. I'm not sure if he's got it, but he's tried both lunar orbits and a tricky woo. Some of the hardest scores on that score sheet. Some of the moves that I've been really hesitant to try because of the shoulder predicament that puts you in. And love to see these juniors just ripping through them.
That was a fantastic ride there. We'll have to see if that betters his first ride score. But he got a lot of the big moves that's on the score sheet, and he really didn't waste much time in his ride at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a pretty high, pretty solid ride score.
If it's not high scoring, it's certainly high on the fun factor. Look at the height on those tricks. That looks like a very poppy, super fun ride. I bet he is excited with that one.
I can see him smiling in the eddy as he waits for his score. And that is over 600 points, I think, 680 something. 688, I've had it buzzed into my ear.
Yes, a 688, putting him up into second place behind Kenny Kellogg. Very nice ride for Adria. Really nice ride. Love the height on those tricks, but these guys all get to go again. And here we go with our next paddler. Michael from Poland. These Polish guys have some of the best flatwater routines in the world, and then when they get in the foam pile, it just makes things easier. You see a lot of extension on the tricks because they're used to not having the trampoline. They're used to having to jump right out of the green water to get these things. They do flatwater competitions in Poland, and it really affects their style and the pop they're able to manage out of these tricks.
Yeah, it also means that they're able to train all the way through the winter when actually outside is a bit cold for doing such flippy floppies.
Is it cold in Poland?
I don't know, let's ask the Polish after. Pretty sure it's cold.
Oh, catching his stern a little bit on that McNasty attempt. Unlucky break, but he was off to a beautiful start. Hope he's still happy with that. Sometimes when you end with your best trick, it's easy to smile and be stoked. But when you end on a flush, it's a little bit harder, even though your score might still be up there.
That certainly looked like a great ride from where I was stood. So it'll be really interesting to see as the scores come in where that places him in the current top 5. But remember, we still have 5 more junior boys sitting in the eddy above, waiting for their chance to do 2 rides. And those were the highest scoring juniors from the prelims. So it's likely that that top 5 is going to change. Okay, Mikkel scoring 456 in his second ride, so he will go home with his first ride counting towards that final. Okay, in the eddy with his trademark big grin on his face is Matt Stephenson from the UK. Can I hear it from the Brits? He's plugging in for his first move. Starting with a loop straight into a Luna, wasting no time whatsoever. Lining up now for the McNasty. Throwing his head up into the air to try and get as much pop out of that boat as he possibly can as he goes for the McNasty the other way. Doesn't quite get it to go, but I think it looks like he's going for it once again as he throws the boat over his head and retains in the feature. Going now for the Phonics Monkey, and he is still in there, got a nice pop on that move as well. We'll have to see if the judges score that. The Phonics being one of the harder moves to score because the pirouette part of the rotation has to be above 45 degrees for almost all of that rotation, which is really difficult to do. Matt dropping in again to the feature, looking to go even bigger as he goes into a Space Godzilla. He's got a smile on his face.
He's got to be happy with that ride. We'll see how the judges think about it, but man, that was some really nice tricks. He has showcased his skills, and no matter where he ends up, he has proven that he is one of the top juniors in the world here today in San Juan, Argentina.
It's great to see the juniors here with big smiles on their faces, enjoying their time competing, enjoying their time doing freestyle kayaking in this beautiful feature we have here. Throwing down some awesome tricks for us to see.
And we're coming back up to Kenny Kellogg. Kenny Kellogg currently sitting nice and pretty, way up high on the scoreboard. And yet there are 5 juniors just chomping at the bit to take him out. He knows they're up there. He knows they know what to do. So he has got to push his score as high as possible, put the pressure on those guys, and if he puts enough pressure, they may succumb to it and let some of these other guys into the final with Kenny. Launching into a beautiful clean air loop. Nice McNasty left, but he throws a little too much rotation on the McNasty, and it takes him right out the back of the feature. These guys are very light. They get lots of pop, but the higher you fly, the more the wind can take you right out of that hole or your momentum. That was another Space Godzilla attempt there. Going back for that McNasty, very nice, into another air loop. Really ambitious ride because he knows Tom Dole and others are waiting in the wings. There goes that other right McNasty in a Phonics attempt and a lunar attempt. Really nice into the back loop. Wow, he is going for that over 1,000-point ride, but only the judges can tell us if he got it. Either way, he's got to be stoked with that one. He did not go out with a whimper. Beautiful job for Kenny Kellogg.
Okay, we have one more paddler to go in this heat of the semi-finals. That's Kenny's brother, Dally, who's sitting above the feature waiting to drop in. But we need to find out his brother's score first. See if he's improved his score from his first ride. But his first ride was a pretty solid score with over 800 points.
And Dally coming after his brother, so we know that he outscored his brother in the round before this. But currently, Kenny's on the top of the scoreboard, and Dally is in hot water below him because there are 5 juniors yet to go. So the best place for Dally to be would be right back up on top, besting his brother's score, giving him the best chance possible to advance to the final round. The judges getting a lot of discussion. It's always a little nerve-wracking when you make the judges talk. The goal of any athlete is to perform the trick so perfectly that when your run is over, the score is done and quite high. You either confuse the judges or they're having to deliberate whether to give you a trick or not when there's a delay. So sometimes that's a good thing. They're trying to figure out what on earth you did in all those tricks. And other times it's not quite as good because you might be about to lose a trick you thought you scored. It also puts a little bit of pressure on the athlete to go next. But Dally Kellogg, while he might be young, he's a very experienced competitor. He is no doubt pretty stoked for his brother right now, knowing that he's probably going to best that 800, or could at least best his 800. Another great score. And now he knows that he wants to do better. Okay, so Kinney will be sticking with his 800-point ride, and Dally will be trying to improve it. Oh, nice little entry McNasty attempt. Going for an entry 3, but as you can see, the reason the entry 3 scores more is because it's harder to stick, and every minute you're not in the hole is points off your scorecard because you can't score them in the eddy. You can do a beautiful flat water, but it won't score. Launching into a beautiful lunar orbit. Looks like he got some air on that one, possibly. We'll see if the judges call that or not. Going for a Space Godzilla to the left, trying to get enough air to clear the foam and get the air on that Space Godzilla. So he's got to really get some nice rebound. Launching into a McNasty to the right. Now a little split wheel. Looks like he bobbled that one a little bit, ended upside down, and went for the lunar orbit the other way. Oh, nice, very ambitious ride for Dally Kellogg, because it's the only way that he can come back and perform for you again. Great ride, Dally. We'll see how it shakes up. Dally definitely had a few cleaner rides in practice, and I believe in the preliminary rounds as well. But we will see what the judges say. He did some very high-flying creative tricks. Maybe it'll be enough. It looks like a 570, which will put him somewhere below his brother. So Kenny Kellogg with that 800-something ride is currently putting the pressure on the next round and hoping to advance by knocking one of them out. So right now, the top 5 juniors from the last round are sitting at the top, knowing that all they have to beat is Kenny Kellogg's ride. But at 800, that is no slouch. Trying to go for an 801 ride does not make it easy, because if I hit my loop, space, space, 1 McNasty, is that going to do it?
No, that is not going to do it, Clay.
So my standard ride is not going to do it. So what should I do instead?
You could try doing a McNasty the other way, get some bonuses onto your tricks, then maybe go for a lunar orbit or some cartwheels, split wheels, link some stuff together, tricky woos.
But what if I don't know how to do a lunar orbit or a tricky woo?
Then you need to learn.
One of the coolest things about these competition formats is that several different times in my life, I don't know about you, Lori, I have thrown a move that I have never completed in a practice round in a semifinal or a final rounds. Why? Because I had to, because it was sudden death. I hit every trick that I knew how to throw, and I knew it wasn't going to be enough, so I had to throw a trick that I had never attempted before in a competition, managed to stick it, and advance to the next round. That's the coolest thing about competition is, on occasion, you paddle better than you ever have in your life, and man, that feeling is addictive.
That's what I'm hoping for this afternoon in the ladies' semi-final. Okay, on the screen we have a reminder of those scores earlier from the junior ladies. They already know who's progressing to the top 5 final tomorrow. Meanwhile, the boys from that first heat are going to have a nervous wait whilst they watch what their friends do in this second heat of the semi-finals. Will they get to compete in the final tomorrow with the top 5 junior boys fighting it out for those top 3 places to get a medal? Well, we'll have to wait and find out.
And it looks like our current results are in for that round. We have Mr. Kenny Kellogg sitting on top with an 850. 850 from his first ride. Right after him, we have Adria from Spain with a 688.33, 688 for the second spot. Followed by Mikkel from Poland with a 650. Right behind him, Dally Kellogg, 570, and Matthew from GBR with a 500. Really respectable rides on that round. No slouches in the round, but the top 5 from the prelims are up next.
So in this next heat, we will expect to see Valentin from France. Do we have any Frenchies in the crowd? Then next up will be Harry Price from Great Britain. Let's hear it from the Brits. Then next up will be Hayden Voorhees from the United States. Where are you, Yankees? There's some poor amount of cheering going on. And then the last 2 paddlers, we have Alex Walters from Great Britain and Tom Dole from France. They were the highest 2 scoring juniors in the preliminary round. So it'll be really exciting to see what they throw down in this all-important semi-final. They're certainly going to be looking to go over 1,000 points, I'd say. But I wouldn't be surprised if some of their scores were competing with the senior men's scores that we saw earlier today. Some information so we can speak about him. You know something? Okay, Valentin dropping in for his first ride of the semi-finals of the 2017 World Championships in San Juan, and he's getting to a flying start, looking for that McNasty. Just flushed off the back, but he's still pretty high up that eddy, so if we cheer him up that eddy, he should have plenty of time to get some more scores on that score sheet.
Now another flying Frenchman. That first trick was way out of the water. Flying in that gigi. Oh, yeah, looking high on that nice clean loop. Oh, massive air on that Space Godzilla attempt into the other one. This guy really likes his bonuses, and he is shooting for some huges for sure. Beautiful McNasty to the right. Whether they're landing straight and scoring, I can't tell, but I can see that that boat is way up out of the water. Love seeing those big poppy tricks.
That looks like time there. That's a fantastic start to this heat of the semi-finals. And we can see why he finished in the top 5 in the preliminary round.
Beautiful ride for Valentin. We'll see what the judges say, but boy, I sure did enjoy that show he put on.
Okay, Valentin's score coming in at 696 points, putting him currently in second place. So he has basically secured his place pretty much, I would say.
Valentin also gave me a ride from the Mendoza airport, so I'm going to give him some extra points. No, I can't do that. I don't even have a scorecard.
Okay, next up from the UK is Mr. Harry Price. He has a beautiful slick style. When he does cartwheels, it reminds me of, I don't know, like the 90s. They're just super slick. You don't actually see that many of the juniors doing such slick cartwheels. They all want to do the big tricks. But Harry can do it all. He can do those big tricks and the slick cartwheels.
Launching that Space Godzilla not only way in the air, but right into a cartwheel, going for that linking bonus. Amazing space right into the cartwheel again. We'll see if he got the cartwheel in, but this is what we like to see. Linking bonuses in the junior class. A link is anytime you blend one trick right into the next one. Both of them have to meet the definition of the trick, but you go in one fluid motion from one to the next. Harry, one of the most talked about athletes of this entire event. I kept hearing, who is that guy in the blue boat with the orange stripes? And the answer was always Harry from GBR.
That was a fantastic first ride from Harry. I'm sure he'll be pretty stoked on that one. We'll have to have a little wait whilst we wait for Harry's score, but as you can see, like all the GB athletes, he is very colour coordinated. We've done a team effort at colour coordinations this year, hoping for extra style points. Unfortunately, I don't think that's actually on the score sheet.
Amazing ride for Harry, but that's not really the rides that I've been seeing him throw in practice. I hope he's happy with it anyway, because just a few of those tricks just wowed the crowd and the announcers. Amazing to watch that guy fly. Up next, we have Mr. Hayden Voorhees out of Idaho. He likes bowling, disc golf, kayaking, and more kayaking.
Okay, Harry's Price has come through, and he is our current leader, 863 points.
863 points for Harry. He's going to be happy with that, but he can go a little bit higher. The good thing about it is once he's on top of the scoreboard, he knows that he has got a great chance, well, maybe 100% chance, of advancing to the final rounds. Congrats, Harry.
But remember, it's not just about making it to the final, but to make it to the final ranked as highly as possible, so you get to watch everybody else's ride before you take yours, and you know exactly what you need to do to get those medals.
All right, next up, Aiden Voorhees. He is a machine in this hole. This guy is so crisp and clean on most of his tricks, on most of his rides, that you basically just tell him, yeah, you got it. He is launching into a lunar orbit to the right. He trains at the Kelly's Whitewater Park in Idaho, but he also trains an awful lot on the North Fork River. This guy competed in the North Fork Championships this year, one of the toughest Class 5 races in the world. So he is not just a freestyle paddler, he's just one of the best. Launching into his Space Godzilla, rebounding into a little bit of a bobble, but trying to throw the lunar orbit out of it. Nice. Got a little off routine on that one, but we'll see what the judges say. A lot of times on his not as impressive rides, the score is still pretty high. We'll see how that one goes for him. Nice ride for Hayden Voorhees. I do a little bit of coaching with Hayden, and we call him the roll master because we pretty much take a beginner kayaker who we're having to save over and over, and we say, go see Hayden and come back in 15 minutes. And they do, and they stop swimming.
So what's his top tips for rolling?
Man, I don't know. I think he's like a horse whisperer or something. I listen to how he teaches so that I can learn to do it, but then when I do it, they swim again. When he does it, they roll. I don't know what it is. It's like a magic power.
Okay, Hayden's first ride coming in at 560 points, which puts him currently in 7th place. So he's going to need to up his game in his second ride if he wants to make that final for tomorrow. Next up from the UK, we have Alex Walters.
That's right, 2 more people to go in this the final round of semifinals at the 2017 World Championships.
Alex straight in with a big entry move and going straight into a whole sequence of moves, trying to get as many linked moves as he possibly can to score all those bonuses on top of the moves, looking for lunars and McNasties, cartwheels and split wheels, going now into the Space Godzilla, looking for it to link into some kind of cartwheel maneuver, not quite getting that link, but going straight into his loops and space the other direction, wasting no time whatsoever, going for the Phonics Monkey, getting big pop on that one. He has 10 seconds left. I'm interested to see what we're going to see in this last few seconds. We're getting a lunar. I think he was looking for the lunar loop there, which was one of the bonuses that we were seeing, one of the trophy moves we were seeing in the men's, only in the top few men though.
That's right, once you've done a lunar orbit and you've done a loop, you can come back once again and combine the two into a lunar loop, because those tricks are actually blended. They actually share part of the trick. There's 90 degrees of that trick that is both of them, so they score. They cannot be scored at the same time. You must score it as a trophy move. The benefit on that one is that you get to do them twice. So you can throw a big, fat, huge, clean air loop and then come back with the lunar loop at the end. Maybe someday in the future, we'll simply have a loop bonus for the tricks that you loop into and out of, and we will see even more of them. But right now, the only thing we can call it is a trophy. And these trophies are here for a reason. Anytime you see these athletes do something that's not on the score sheet, but you actually think, man, that was cool and hard and looked awesome, we don't have to give them a 0, and that's what the trophy bonus is for. There are 3 different levels of the trophy bonus. So you think, man, that was different, but kind of cool, not bad. You can give it a trophy 1. But if you're just like, wow, he just wowed my socks off, I don't even know what that is, but I want to do it, you might give it a trophy 3, which is worth a whole lot more points.
Okay, so we are having to wait whilst the judges tally up Alex's score. Generally, that means the score's probably going to come in pretty high. They're just working out all of those bonuses on those moves that he did, especially all those ones he was linking together. They're having to call out those moves really quickly as he does one thing into another and make sure that they get all of those bonuses called out as well, so that their scribes who are sat next to them with a tablet in front of them with all of the moves and all of the bonuses in front of them, they can get everything marked down on there to get all of the points down for these boys, so we know for sure who has scored the most. So Alex went through from prelims in second place, so we can expect his score to be reasonably high. There was only one other junior boy that beat him, and he is waiting in the eddy above, waiting for his chance to shine in the semi-final and earn his spot in tomorrow's final, because I know he is chomping at the bit. He wants a medal, but so does Alex, and so do the rest of the boys in this heat. They are going to be fighting hard to make those top 5 spots so that they get a chance tomorrow to fight it out for those medals. Wow, this is a long wait. We can only hope that that's because they are still adding up humongous score for Alex. And there it is, our first one, over 1,000 points, 1,136 points, 0.67. Alex is going to be pretty happy with that. And Tom Doll is waiting above to see if he can go one better. And here comes the cheers and the whistles and the siren and all of the noise coming from the stands. He has got a lot of support here right now. Tom is a great paddler to watch. He has such a nice style. He makes everything look so effortless as he throws his boat into the air, getting as much air as possible for all of those bonuses, the huge, the clean, and the air bonuses, if possible. Going from move to move so seamlessly. Catwall to tricky woo. Getting link bonuses on all of those moves as he moves into the McNasty.
Amazing. This guy's starting off with a clean McNasty and a clean loop, and trying to link that Space Godzilla right into a split wheel. Tom, in a lot of our U.S. rodeos, coming in with a higher score than most of the men, but he is just a junior. He's demonstrating his brace. Almost got to demonstrate his roll. I believe he does have one. This guy can creek, this guy can freestyle. He does it all. Training in Columbus, Georgia, but competing today for France.
Bueno, señoras y señores, hemos observado el palista número 34, Tom Dolle de Francia. Es el hit número 2, viviendo aquí sobre el río San Juan, en este Mundial de Kayak Freestyle. Semifinales. Avanza la jornada, señoras y señores, categoría K1 Junior. En los hombres, ya pasó el hit 1. Estamos con el hit 2. En esta tarde tan particular de viernes en la provincia, ahora con algo de lluvia. Pero esto no se detiene, tenemos todo un viernes por delante.
Y ahí en media hora arranca la 16 de vuelta.
Okay, Tom's first ride score coming in at 1,198, which makes him our new leader, but not by much. So Alex will be thinking, can he get a few extra points in there to pip Tom to the lead and go through to next round at that top spot? It's really nice to be going through to finals, sitting in the top spot, because you get to watch everybody else's rides before you get to go, so you know exactly what you need to do.
Valentín Parasmé de Francia, palista 122, una nueva participación, señoras y señores, en la ola del río San Juan.
Valentin launching into that left McNasty, getting the air loop out of the way, trying to get those spaces out of the way too as quickly as possible so that he can go to his harder to stick tricks. But you do have to get all those scores on the scorecard. So a lot of times you're going to see these athletes start with the more conservative tricks, the ones they know they won't flush on, before launching into the riskier moves.
Yeah, that's right. The risk with flushing, of course, is that when you are not on the wave, you can't do any tricks to score, and it takes you time to get back upstream onto the feature, as we've just seen there from Valentin.
Para nada conforme, Valentín Parasmé de Francia. Culmina su trabajo, la rutina, los 45 segundos. Recuerden que de los 20 palistas en esta categoría junior clasifican 5 a la final. Final que viviremos mañana en este lugar, aquí en el Río San Juan.
Valentin definitely not happy with that ride, but how could you be? You've been training all year long. You've probably sacrificed a lot of fun times with your friends and your family, and no fets with your dog to go out and practice, and then you get in the front of the crowd and you don't show your best tricks. It's so disappointing, but it's always important to remember it's way more fun than working on a cubicle. It is way more fun than having to go to a normal high school, and it is way more fun than being unable physically to actually do these tricks. So every day you're on the water, no matter how well it goes, you have to have fun.
Valentin's score currently placing him in 5th, so he will be through to tomorrow's final, as long as there's no one else to go into that top 5. Harry's first ride was a really high score, so Harry's confidently through, so he's just looking to improve his placing. And to show you guys some amazing tricks that he's got lined up, like the Lunar Loop, one of the big trophy moves here. Huge, big, clean air loop. Harry knows how to make his boat fly. Going for that space, goes straight into some cartwheels to get that link bonus on both moves, splitting into the Lunar. Keeping the boat moving as he's going into his final few seconds, looking for that tricky woo, and just flushing off the back there. But he can feel proud that he just laid down 2 really solid rides in semi-finals and is moving through to tomorrow's top 5 junior men in the whole world.
Bajan los aplausos para Harry Price de Gran Bretaña. Buena performance. Aprovechó los 45 segundos a full. El palista 128. Ya actualizamos cómo va quedando el score. Los 5 que van a clasificar a la final de mañana en Junior. Lo que viene el norteamericano Hayden Voorhees, palista número 160.
Big screen just replaying that amazing Lunar Loop. Really big pop on the loop as well from Harry there. Absolutely incredible scenes. Look how high that boat flies into the air. He's paddled miles away from the water. There should be no doubt on that clean bonus.
All right, so currently our leaderboard looking at Tom Dole with 1198, Alex Waters 1136, Harry Price 863, Kenny Kellogg 850, and Valentin at a 696. 696. Currently he has made the cut, but that could change.
Aprovechamos para agradecer a todo el público presente, aquellos que han colaborado y que hacen posible que este Mundial de Kayak Freestyle sea una realidad, sea un éxito aquí sobre el Río San Juan, en el departamento de Rivadavia. El agradecimiento al servicio de Matías Sigalat, que provee del almuerzo y los alimentos necesarios para los deportistas y el público. Muchas gracias a Matías Sigalat. Evento, primero el francés Donnelly, 1198 puntos. Se mete a la final. Segundo, Alex Walters de Gran Bretaña con 1136.
And we know just by his placement here that Hayden Voorhees is capable of moving up the ranks and getting into that last round. And we will find out if he can do it right now. He's got a nice, smooth, consistent routine. So all he's got to do is stick it. Setting up nice and slow into a McNasty to the left, it looks like. And there it is. First move going off nicely. Nice slow routine. He's wanting to make sure and stick every trick he tries. Lunar orbit to the right. Now into the back loop. Oh no, that back loop traveling just a little bit downstream. He's gonna have to crank it hard to get back in there in time to keep scoring those high scoring tricks. He is cranking up the Yeti. Here's the 10-second buzzer, 10 seconds. EJ actually practices 10-second rides. There's a right McNasty. There's a loop with a clean bonus possibly. Oh, and he bobbles. Right after that, we will see if that is gonna be enough for Mr. Hayden Voorhees. We know he was capable of it. We're just not sure if he did it at the right time. Hayden Voorhees, one of the best juniors, and we will see if he gets to perform again in finals.
Ahí termina su actividad el palista de Estados Unidos, Hayden Voorhees, con muchos movimientos. Aprovechó los 45 segundos, señores. Es el palista 160, llegando a la parte final de este hit número 2. Lo que viene, lo que viene. Ahí está el de Gran Bretaña, Alex Walters, el palista número 163.
Hayden's second ride score coming in at 6:10, which puts him out of that all-important top 5. So Valentin has made that cut. The last 2 paddlers coming down now have already secured their place in that top 5 final tomorrow. So they are just battling it out to see who's going to be first and second going through to tomorrow's final. Alex dropping in with a trophy 3 straight into a Luna and some cartwheels, keeping the boat moving, looking for as many links as he can, going for that tricky woo, lining himself up for the back loop. Going again for the McNasty, getting that boat to pop out as he pulls it around, and again for the McNasty the other way. I like that he's put green stripes on the bottom of his boat because it helps us to spot when it's in the air. He's going in for more big pop for Loop and Space Godzilla. Looking now for the Phonics Monkey, getting pop on that one as well. He'll be scoring lots of air bonuses on this ride, I'm pretty sure. Looking there for another move. Maybe it was the Lunar Loop that Harry did on a few rides ago. And there it is, the Lunar Loop from both British boys in this heat. And Alex is totally stoked on that ride, and so he should be.
El festejo del palista que culmina con su rutina, señoras y señores. Estamos en categoría juniors, que mañana a las 10:30 tendrán la gran final. Termina Alex Walters de Inglaterra, palista 163. Avanzamos, viene el quinto del hit número 2. El agradecimiento al gobierno de la provincia en el nombre del doctor Sergio Uñac, su señor gobernador, que le da la bienvenida a todos a la provincia de San Juan, a este río, a este departamento hermoso como es Rivadavia, la colaboración también del municipio. Se viene el francés. Atención, Tom Donnelly, el palista número 34, buscando también clasificar y está en el top 5, que lo lleve a la final de mañana, día sábado por la mañana. Agradecemos también la colaboración del Ministerio de Turismo y Cultura de la provincia, que ha hecho posible de manera mancomunada, trabajo en conjunto con el Kayak Club San Juan, que esto sea una realidad. Mientras observamos repetición de algunas maniobras del último palista, se puede observar el trabajo en la pantalla gigante ubicada al sector este de este Río San Juan, cerquita del dique de Yum, debajo del paredón.
Okay, it looks like 1,183 points, which gives him a little bit more, but I'm not sure. It's going to be super close with Tom Dole. Earlier in training, Alex actually had done his whole ride in 35 seconds, and he had to work out what to do with his last 10 seconds. That's not a predicament I've ever found myself in. So Tom Dole, now our current leader, dropping in from above with a huge big entry move straight into a McNasty with huge air on every single one of his tricks, and all of his ends really vertical, really selling it to the judges. Pulling around for a McNasty. He's not going to settle for too long because he wants to get more moves and more links, more bonuses, going for the Space Godzilla straight into some cartwheels, looking to line up another McNasty the other direction, and straight in there with another Space Godzilla the other direction. Potentially not getting enough twist on that for pleasing the judges. Looking now for the Luna, linking straight into more cartwheels, looking again for that back loop. This is an amazing ride. That's a back loop McNasty, that's another trophy move. We've seen so many trophies in this semi-final. Just imagine what we're going to see tomorrow in the finals from these boys.
Wow. Wow is all I can say about that. When you get air on lunars and tricky woos, wow is about all I can say. Tom Dole putting on a demonstration, showing the men's class what they need to do if they want to stay on top once he gets a little bit older. Tom putting the pressure on all those older guys because he's got the moves, he's got the height, and he's got the precision to put the pressure on anybody at any age. Amazing demonstration there for Tom. We'll see if the judges liked it or loved it.
Brillante actuación de Tom Dole, el francés. Se lució en la ola del Río San Juan, gran candidato de la categoría, atención, ya clasificado a la final de mañana Tom Dole, el francés, palista 34. Se sintió muy cómodo en la ola. Gran candidato a quedarse con la Copa del Mundo en la gran final, prevista para mañana a la hora 10.
Okay, so that is an incredible score of 1,416 points, .67. That is a super score from Tom Dole, laying it all out there, saying to the other boys, well, you better be ready for tomorrow, because I certainly am.
Amazing ride for Tom Dole. I hope you guys can put your hands together and give that Frenchman some love, because boy, he gave some to the whole. Great job, Tom Dole.
Ahí están las posiciones actualizadas para que el público en la tribuna pueda saber cómo avanza todo. Esto es semifinales, K1, categoría junior masculinos. Tom Dole, primer posición para el francés. Recién lo disfrutábamos, el palista número 34. Llega al score 1.416 unidades. Y clasifica a la gran final de mañana, señoras y señores. Estamos en una jornada de definiciones. Mañana las finales en todas las categorías, con la novedad que tanto en damas como en caballeros, categoría seniors, K1, mañana por la noche, aquí en el Río San Juan.
Train mostly in the US on the
Well,
East
what a
Coast.
show from the junior boys.
I travel a lot too, so it helps a lot.
And are you going to do new tricks in the next round?
Yeah, I think I can do like two more tricks, and hopefully I can do the same or even better.
Well, congratulations, that was amazing, and see you in the next round.
Thanks.
And we have the senior women and the senior men who you saw earlier competing in the quarterfinals. We have the top 10 of each of those fighting it out for tomorrow's final.
Thank you. Ya están clasificados los 5, señoras y señores, en la categoría juniors masculino, quienes estarán en la final mañana por la mañana aquí en la ola. El mejor de la jornada, Tom Dole de Francia. Uno de los grandes candidatos a quedarse con la Copa del Mundo en San Juan, Argentina 2017. Acumuló 1.416 puntos. El palista 34 de Francia. Se ubicó segundo Alex Walters de Gran Bretaña, 1.183 puntos para el palista número 168. Tercer lugar, otro de Inglaterra, 863 unidades para Harry Priest, el palista 128.